Hey guys, thank you for visiting my channel today. Now in this tutorial I will share with you 3 tips that can help your elbow grip work on a spinning ball. As long as you're warm, let's get started. Now we all know that elbow grips hurt like hell at first, okay? Everyone feels the same. My students are almost crying every lesson when I give them elbow grips. That's okay. But proper technique is needed and gradual approach. The first step is angling your elbow. By that I mean that if you're taking your elbow grip, do not take it in this kind of angle. You always want to take it in a little bit like this. So actually this is easier to hold than this, okay? Make sure you put your arm a little bit higher than your shoulder. So your elbow should go higher than your shoulder once you're gripping, okay? Take it a little bit higher. Now, before you flex the arm, make sure the arm is straight and high and deep and close to the pole. Then flex and pull your palm down so you have a nice good angle, okay? The height of your arm, it always depends which is more comfortable for you to hold, okay? But angling is very necessary. Start just taking the grip on a static pole without giving the weight to your shoulder. Switch to the other arm. Make sure you actually feel that you are trying to squeeze the pole here, okay? You need an actual flexion here. You need to feel that you're trying to squeeze the pole in your elbow, okay? So that means your biceps should be involved into this, okay? If you will not squeeze, you will collapse in your shoulder. And if you have a really good grip, you will probably hold for a while, okay? And collapsing into the shoulder is actually really bad for the shoulder, of course. That's why you need to involve your arm strength with the squeeze, okay? So once you kind of feel that angling and squeezing, see when I'm starting to squeeze, I'm kind of pulling myself a little bit closer to the pole. This is what you want to feel when you take your elbow grip. It doesn't matter if you're taking your fist or releasing your fingers, okay? It doesn't matter. What feels more comfortable for you to actually feel the squeezing, okay? Angle and the squeeze, that's the tip 1, and it's a very, very necessary tip. I always remind this to my students because they tend to forget, okay? Especially if I'm giving combinations. So make sure you feel this engagement here with the pulling force. It's kind of trying to pull you closer to the pole, okay? You're not here, trying to pull yourself closer, elbow is looking up, and you actually feel the pole squeezing into your elbow. Tip 2 is the lower arm, okay? If you are a beginner or an intermediate level, then you will probably start your elbow grips with just this or this. You will not dive into right away with one elbow grip hold, okay? You need to get used to gripping, used to holding your body weight in an elbow grip, okay? That's why using both arms at first is really necessary. And here we come to the tip 2. What does the lower arm do? It pushes, okay? Since the upper arm is pulling you closer, this arm should be pushing you a little bit away to maintain the distance, okay? Pull, push. And here we go to the engagement of the lower arm. So the lower arm push should feel that the push is coming from your upper back as well. Not just your joints, not just your wrist here, okay, wrist joint, not your elbow joint. You have to feel the push from here, okay? If you need to do this exercise a little bit, do it, okay? This is a nice good exercise. So you put a little bit of weight on your arm. Make sure the angle is right. If you're gonna take the arm too high, you're gonna feel the pain in your wrist joint, okay? We do not want that. Take the arm a little bit lower. Remember, if you have watched any of my tutorials, you probably have heard that I'm mentioning this pointy finger has to look down to make sure that your wrist is straight and stable. Once you take the grip, if you're taking all of your fingers like this, the wrist will probably move on to the one side. So you want your wrist to stay straight and stable, and the engagement of this finger is actually necessary. Take your bracket grip. Make sure the pointing finger is looking down. All of your fingers are engaged. Now step a little bit further away so you see that the weight is already moving onto your arm. So a couple of times try to feel the push coming from here, from your shoulder, and you should feel that it's not just the shoulder, it's actually the upper back is starting to get engaged here. Okay, I'm putting my palm here where you should feel that something is happening in this area of your upper back, okay? Shoulder engagement, okay? Once you got this, now take the lower arm first. Engage the push before the pull. In this case, it might actually help. Push, reach high, engage, let go. Yes, I suggest you to start this on a static pole first, okay? Engagement is necessary. You will actually be surprised that it hurts less, okay? Switch the arms, engage the push. I'm going on my tippy toes here to reach my elbow higher with the angle and let go. And if you can hold for a couple of seconds, you can try to do this on a spinning pole. The same thing applies. Push, reach high, and now just spin. I'm gonna take a step with my inside leg, swing a little bit the outside leg, and feel the engagement here. I feel that my lats are working as well. Hopefully you do too. And remember, switch your arms. Engage the push, reach high, step, swing, and spin. Now, if you feel that your wrist joint is hurting, that means you need to place the arm a little bit lower, okay? If that doesn't work, that means you have to work with the upper arm more. If it still hurts, you might feel that it's too much at first, just take it slow, okay? Another way how can we try to do this is in a side spin variation. So here I like to use the glass grip, like I'm holding a glass here, and push from here. Now this push is actually a little bit harder to understand, especially for beginners. So once you take this push, you should feel that something is happening in this area, okay? If it's not happening, you're gonna collapse in just one arm, and it might start to feel really painful, and you might fall into your shoulder, which what we do not want to do, because you need to squeeze the pole, the flexion here, okay? So, and this will also work better for those who feel pain in this grip. I always enjoy this grip a lot more than this, okay? Even though my grip, my push is really engaged, I do not like this grip at all. So that's why I usually try to teach my students to spin better from the side, although it's a little bit harder to understand at first, but it can help your lower arm. So engage, start with a push on your tippy toes, angle your elbow, spin, and hold. As long as you can, and the same thing, switch to the other arm. And of course, remember to breathe. Now we came down to the tip 3. Third tip today in this tutorial is distance, okay? We already talked about this with the pushing, okay? But if you're starting to do elbow grips on a spinning pole, you'll be surprised that actually speed helps you a lot, because it takes a little bit the load off from your lower arm, and it's actually easier to hold. The faster you spin, the easier it is to hold. So that's the tip 3. You want a good spin. So how do I start with a good spin? I take my upper arm in an angle, like we talked about in a tip 1. I walk around the pole a little bit to feel if my arm is engaged, And from here, at some point, I'm gonna make a step with my inside leg, swing, and grab the pole. Either you're gonna go face to pole in this grip. I like to use this grip, as I mentioned before. You can use this, okay? So the walking around helps you maintain the engagement. Keep your posture nice, okay? Not here. Posture is nice, okay? Do not try to pull your shoulders to your ears. This is not the case, okay? You don't have to depress them down like this, okay? You just have to feel the engagement in your arm, that you're actually trying to pull yourself closer to the pole, okay? If you're walking around like this, you will start to feel that you're kind of going closer and closer to the pole. That's why I like to do this, because I'm trying to maintain my distance. Step, spin. And you can spin a little bit faster, push. And you will feel that it's actually a little bit easier because the pole is spinning faster. It's easier to push, okay? It's not easier to pull, but it's easier to push. Therefore, the load can go off your lower arm a little bit. Now I'm going to try the same thing on my other arm. Reach high, elbow high. This time I'm going to do the side spin, okay? Walk around, step, swing, and spin. The faster it spins, the easier it feels. So, hopefully these 3 tips can help you achieve your elbow grips, okay? Once you go further with your elbow grips, once you want to spin in one elbow, you will feel that the speed is really crucial. The faster the spinning pole is spinning, the easier it is to hold the distance. And therefore, it's easier to maintain your position, okay? If the pole is spinning really slow and you will want to hold just in one elbow, it might feel difficult, okay? I usually start, if you want to start in condition spinning with one elbow, start with both arms. If you feel good speed and engagement, just try to let go the other arm at any point you feel comfortable, okay? Walk, walk, walk. And let go. And the distance is the thing that helps my body position stay like this rather than this, because this will actually not help your elbow at all. You want distance. That's why this start helps you once you're learning. After a while, you won't need to walk around like for 5 minutes around the pole. Just make sure that the proper engagement is there, okay? So, and the same thing applies if you want to spin face to pole, okay? You walk around, spin, and if you can, let go. If you can't, if you feel you're sliding, land on your feet safely. So hopefully this tutorial can help you to nail your elbow grips. If you feel you lack the grip in your elbows, I am using, this is not a commercial, I'm just sharing the information, things that I do. I'm using iTuck. This is the extra strength iTuck. I'm usually putting a little bit on my elbow joints and then I actually feel a better grip. But everything you put on your skin that helps your grip will hurt more, okay? So that means it's gonna bruise more. So don't panic if you see that your elbows are like red and bruised all over after a couple of tries if you're using iTuck, okay? But if you're not using anything that's good for you, it's actually better because you're learning to hold with your own strength better. But my skin, for example, my skin is really, really dry, so that's why I need some things more to actually help my grip. So hopefully this tutorial will help you achieve your elbow grips. Just a couple of tips. Just make sure that you're actually training this gradually and consistently, because elbow grips do hurt. They will hurt for a while. The more you do them, let your elbows heal and then go back at it, and it's going to actually help you manage the pain, and after a while you will feel that it does not hurt that much anymore. So as always, thank you guys for visiting my channel and see you next time.